Last night, what a feast of Champions League football it was. A total of 43 goals, 5 red cards and 6 penalties across the Champions League. 3 teams scored 6 goals or more. Arsenal didn't manage 6, but they managed 4, Jim Campbell. Arsenal 4, Atletico Madrid 0. Have some of that, Diego Simeone, for getting David Beckham sent off. That was my takeaway. Yeah. That was my kind of lens I was looking through it.
Technically ex-Arsenal, David Beckham. He trained with them, didn't he? In between various stints.
We'll take it. Your son's on the pitch, is he? Yeah, it was a really good performance. I listened to the show from Monday, obviously, Marcus, and I agreed with your assessment of Arsenal against Fulham that it was a little bit flat and it was functional and it wasn't particularly impressive in a kind of very rounded way. This was much better than that, and I felt like there has been a performance like this coming from Arsenal. There's been a sense in a lot of games that they perhaps should have scored more goals than they've managed to, and I put that down to kind of new players perhaps clicking with their kind of new teammates and certain tweaks to positions and things. And obviously, you know, Atletico had a couple of chances. Alvarez hit the bar, and obviously there was a crazy kind of moment with David Raya in the first half where your heart's in your throat, but Alvarez manages to or doesn't quite manage to get it in from a tight angle. But aside from those moments,
they're more anomalies, though. Yeah, it's a mistake and it's a great effort.
Yeah, and
from distance.
Also, he apologised twice for it. So what are you going to do?
Exactly. Yeah, well, exactly. So I mean, other than those moments, they really, really controlled it. In a way, I was quite surprised by how efficient they were in that sense. Actually, I thought there'd be a bit more to come from Atletico, but I think they came to kind of try and dig in and perhaps go for a point. And obviously that flurry in the second half just made that impossible. They really, really fell apart. It's an unbelievable goal from Gabriel to start. There's a picture. It's almost like that picture of. I might be overselling it slightly. But it's a bit like that picture of Diego Maradona up against those 7 Belgian players. Where he's essentially, where he's got like 4 or 5 men around him, and he still manages to get the header away. And then the goal from Martinelli shortly after that, you know, kind of. You know, at that point, that the 2 goals has made it safe. And I want to praise him again because he scored in every Champions League game so far for Arsenal this season. And he's really, really stepped up to the challenge. He had a lot of kind of pre-criticism this season of people worried that, you know, he'd kind of plateaued. And I think a lot of the time that was based on what we were seeing. But he's got his head down.
Well, I think he's one of those
while
players.
Also knowing where his teammates are.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, Martinelli, it's kind of obvious to me that he's benefited from the increase in competition for places. He's responding to that every time he's given a chance. Vish, Arsenal, yeah, I mean, particularly that 13-minute spell where they scored 4 goals, they were bloody irresistible in that second half in particular.
Yeah. I actually don't think they hit their like top attacking capacity, which is only a good thing.
You're just trying to bring Jim back down to earth. He's goody this morning, and so he should be, man.
Quite
He's telling me there's more.
Yeah, I'm saying there's more.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, because...
All right, throw him even higher up in the air.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Right.
Help me. Take one of the legs.
Hold a helium balloon, Jim. Take one of the legs.
But what I did like about it, you know, you mentioned Martinelli there. I think that's a great point about him thriving with more competition, because I think it's actually... weirdly narrowed his role, because he's almost been like, right, he's almost looked at it ahead of time and thought, these are the points in games that I'm going to come into and I've got to really make them count.
Yeah.
And it's almost like he's become a remarkable impact sub. You see the first Champions League round against Athletic Bilbao, like he obviously comes on and helps change the game, or does change the game actually. And in this particular setting, that was a finish that I don't think we've seen from for a while, despite the fact that he is renowned as, well, certainly made his name initially as like being a really astute finisher.
The one against Man City was a lovely finish.
Yeah.
These are
100%.
But these are, as we
again, came on and helped change the game.
As we like to say nowadays, these are elite level finishes.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
It is. That goal, I mean, wonderful work from Miles Lewis-Skelly.
Yeah. So this is a thing I want to really go big on.
Come on, England next summer?
Well, I mean, he's England now, isn't he? So, yeah.
Talk to me.
You know, it's no secret.
Throw me up in the air, damn you.
Rory, I'm going to need your help for this.
Yeah. We'll come to the England section of our Champions League roundup in a minute, mate. Don't worry.
Don't worry. Rashford's getting a mention.
Yeah, God,
it's all coming up us.
You know, when Miles Lewis-Skelly came through the Arsenal Academy,
he
obviously came through as a midfielder, and that's not a secret. And it's been talked about a lot about how, as a left back, He'll probably end up being a starting midfielder for Arsenal. And even, apart from without the ball, he's basically playing in midfield. But one of the hardest things I think to do in football is run, 10 yards forward.
Through Atletico Madrid players specifically.
No, but run 10 yards forward and then pass forward.
Mm-hmm.
And he does that from such a difficult position at a point where he gets the ball facing his own goal in his own half and turns through a passage of 3 Atletico midfielders who are renowned as being some of the biggest shithouses in the game, and then lays on that pass. And it's like, yeah, fine, I see it now.
But it was a glorious goal. I mean, you mentioned the first goal, Jim. The ball in is superb, and obviously Gabriel, who's just an absolute machine of a man, isn't he? Just my goodness, what a player! And scores. And as Vish describes there, the setup for that goal, Martinelli, the finish has to be so precise against Jan Oblak,
who gets a hand on it. Just about.
Beautiful in into the corner. But on that, by the way, the fullbacks as you just described there. I mean, it really does. I know they're not the first side to do it, and Guardiola's Man City have done it before. But seeing Arsenal, as I did in the flesh against Fulham on the weekend, you really do see how they... like Calafiori, he scored an absolute peach. It was given offside.
That was such a good finish,
Just stunning finish, yeah. And we know he's got that about him. But as you say, when you have the defensive line Arsenal have, and you can push men forward... That's what I want to see Arsenal do. And that's what they did against Atletico Madrid. Now, Atletico Madrid's styles are different. If Arsenal come up, they've got Bayern to face, for example, in this early phase. Will they be doing that? Perhaps maybe in phases rather than in a longer period as they did against Atletico. But that's it. It's about that control. It's about squeezing the play. And that's Arsenal at times last night. This is why people are saying, well, they can win the Champions League. Well, of course they can. They got the semi-final last time. Only just, not a bad account themselves, beaten by the best side, I think we can agree, and they've improved. So I think it's a statement win, this, for Arsenal. And also, before I start talking about the general, going a little bit more specific, lovely for Viktor Gyökeres to score a couple of goals.
Absolutely.
The first one, give it me. Yeah. The second one, it's like, that's a proper striker's goal.
First one, he basically walked into the net.
Yeah, he took so many touches on it, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's one of the sort of criticisms of him before he joined Arsenal, which is that perhaps he takes too many touches in the box for the Premier League. Didn't seem to matter last night.
It's the Champions League.
Well, indeed.
He's lower standard.
Yeah, and he, I think he was a bit worried about a VAR call or something like that, so the celebration was a bit sheepish, but shortly later he scores with his abdomen, essentially. And yeah, they all count, don't they? And a big part of his role and what he's getting better at, I suppose, is finding those spaces where he can be effective in an instant. He's there's a lot of different facets to his game that Arsenal still need to get right in terms of kind of getting him in behind defences, which is when you're a possession-based team, the chances might be once or twice in a game. So you've got to be really clinical there, but they're finding different ways to kind of get him involved, and he was really good yesterday, really, really involved. And it doesn't, they don't all have to be screamers, do they?
No. Arteta said he makes us a better team. And he had a sniff at goal as well. There was one again, Oblak saved. He's there. There isn't a period of adaptation, of course, to English football. I know he's played here before, but you get what I'm saying. But I think in the Champions League, maybe he's a little bit more familiar. And I know it sounds odd to think, well, he didn't score against, say, Fulham, but he scores against Atletico Madrid.
Even the Fulham game, though, he got shots away, and he wasn't getting shots away at the start of the season. Yeah,
which is why that first goal, I think you just kind of go, right, just take that, pal. And then you get the second one, and you build the confidence from there. Because again, you're right, against Fulham, he had a couple of efforts, but they were quite wayward, and there was a lot of wee cheers because people are aware of the price tag. They're aware that he's the starting striker for Arsenal, who are going for Premier League and Champions League glory this season.
Don't forget the Carabao and the FA Cup. You tipped us for a quadruple.
Let's have a quadruple. Bit of chat for the quadruple, absolutely. Yeah. There's an enormous spotlight on him.
Yeah,
and you can imagine any player sort of struggling a little bit with that. So these goals, they're important goals. And they do build the confidence. Diego Simeone looked... When he was interviewed by TNT Sports after the game, all the negative emotions you could feel. I don't know whether he was going to cry. I don't know if he was going to get angry. Very rarely have I seen him like that, Vish.
It's great, isn't it?
The thing is, though, I've warmed to Simeone. Like, of course, the Beckham documentary was brilliant.
He has,
and I loved his Atletico Madrid teams. But you're right, it is, yeah.
But you're right, it is great.
No, there's something, you know.
No. I think, the Beckham documentary is great. I would urge everyone, even if you've watched it, to rewatch the way he walks into the documentary, essentially.
Yeah.
Because they track him walking down the hallway, and he looks incredible.
He does look incredible. And then when he has that cheeky little grin on his face.
Yeah.
I just maybe those...
It's for David Beckham's people, is it?
Yeah.
Talk about this.
The guy mugged off.
I wonder how... I mean, he seems also like quite refreshed. He's done that job for so long. And I suppose you would do it for that long if you get paid that much. But...
his longevity in that...
It's really quite exceptional.
What do you do? What do you do if you're the guy after Simeone?
Yeah. Spoken like a true Manchester United fan.
Yeah.
But any legacy manager, though, is difficult.
Remember
like that,
to get rid of the booby traps in the office. Live grenades in the drawer.
Yeah. There was obviously, as there inevitably would be, and I've mentioned it myself, chat about can Arsenal go all the way and win this competition. I mean, of course they can.
Yeah, that was you 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, indeed. But of course they can. I mean, Gabriel kind of just sort of laughed that kind of chat off. But they are very much in the mix, Jim. If you look at the teams who could realistically win it, I mean, the side could come from nowhere. They're in there.
Well, I think the squad depth is the difference this season, isn't it? And obviously that's been the point of the quite extraordinary kind of summer window, and the idea that you've got enough players that you can keep everybody fresh and firing and essentially time your late run. So, they've conceded 3 goals all season. That's the fewest they've ever conceded in their history at this point.
Boring,
isn't it? And yes, so I mean, they're in a good position right now. I'm not going to book any flights just yet. But yeah.
But you have looked at where the final is. Yeah, I like it.
Look, maybe I just want to go to Budapest in May.
Yeah.
Lovely part of the world.
Yeah, I've never been, so...
Jim, just get it sorted out now. Try and book your tickets.
Do you need a visa for Hungary?
Well, as it's EU, you'll need, if you haven't already done it, the fingerprints and eye scans.
Okay,
and
that's
all that.
sorted. We can do that here in the office if you want.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can we? That's
just
frightening.
Use that other bloke's one that you normally do.
Pete's got a spare eye.
Vish, I want to ask you something about Eberechi Eze.
Go on.
You're a big fan of his. I'm a big fan of his. We're all big fans of his.
Yeah.
What did you think of him last night, playing a more sort of central role? He's kind of in there with Martin Odegaard is obviously injured. I quite like it. I know with Palace, he wasn't just farmed out on the wing, but there's a kind of in the centre getting more involved. I'm quite enjoying seeing him there.
Yeah. I mean, the Odegaard thing is unfortunate broadly, but beneficial to Eze. I think I can't remember which Arsenal game that you and I were at where
City, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Where he came on centrally, and he we did always know this about him, but it was really interesting seeing it in that game with that much pressure on him. But he takes contact so well.
Yeah, he's really strong, isn't he?
Yeah. And so when he doesn't have people around him, he's also incredibly skillful. So he can beat people in different ways. And it's interesting seeing a midfielder who is able to do that in the middle and then also pass it.
Yes.
And thread balls through. And he's not afraid to shoot from outside the box.
No. And
which
actually,
is refreshing.
That led to a goal against West Ham.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Very nearly led to a quite similar situation
in
yesterday.
In the first half, yes.
He got an assist that might actually have been a shot yesterday as well. So that directness, even if the numbers aren't telling you that they're making direct contributions to goals all the time, it adds to the pressure, and he's been brilliant in that sense.
Where do you see Eze? I mean, obviously, with squad rotation and all the rest of it, he might play centrally and out on the wing, but it does feel like when Odegaard comes back, he will slot into where he will normally be for Arsenal. He's been a great player for Arsenal, of course. That feels like Eze would maybe then be out wide in competition with Martinelli and Trossard, perhaps. Yeah. I feel that having seen him, what he did for Palace last season and what he's currently doing with Arsenal at the moment, I feel like slightly...
Is it a waste of him to have him outside?
Wasted is too strong a word, because he's still a very, very effective winger. But do you understand what I'm getting at?
I do, but I mean, we're sort of yet to see the full kind of why the Eze experience, I'm going to call it, like he's some sort of jazz fusion band. But he did. I mean, he played out there against Nottingham Forest, and he got an assist for Gyökeres's goal in that game. So he's already played there and already contributed. The thinking seems to be that Piero Hincapié has come in to play as a kind of more traditional wide fullback, and you would perhaps pair those two together so that Eza can cut inside a little bit more and you congest that area a bit more while having the outlet of Hincapié. So Hincapié's had a small injury, so we've not really seen much of him, but that's the
So Arsenal have got 3 quality left backs then? Is that
It
what
seems
you're saying?
that way, yeah.
Just like the old days.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. Love it. All right.
Which of the 3 is the Kolasinac?
None of them,
Right.
which is
That's a
really
shame,
refreshing.
That is a shame.
It shows you that they are improving.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, before we move on from Arsenal, did you see this? That Atletico Madrid filed a complaint to UEFA after Arsenal left them with cold showers after their Emirates Stadium training session the night
Love
before.
it.
Simeone put his players back on the team bus and told them to shower in their hotel rooms. Oh,
The timeline of this is absolutely amazing if you read the story. So according to the story, the Atletico Madrid staff realised that there was no hot water at 7:15. Their training at the stadium was scheduled to finish at 7:30. They had managed to fix the issue by 7:25, but by then they'd already left it a strop. So it would have been fine, but they left at 7:15 with Simeone going, "Get back on the bus, go and shower at the hotel. This is outrage. Call UEFA."
He's using that, isn't he?
Yeah,
Do you
not
think-
very well.
Do you think he turned the hot water off and went, look at them bastards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever
maybe.
he did didn't work.
Well, even if it was Arsenal's hijinks, I suppose this is the benefit of this Champions League setup because Arsenal don't need to go to Atletico.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So we can fuck about with them.
Yeah.
Because they would have filled the pipes with piss.
How fresh was
It's
the piss?
warmer.
Yeah.
It's warmer than
Yeah,
yours.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. Would you want the piss to be warm or not?
Simeone just at the top, being like, yeah. Drinking loads of water. Yeah.
Whack some chili in there.
Oh dear. Like that fan in the away end at Boca who nearly pissed on me when I went to see them many moons ago.
Nearly.
Oh, yes.
From above, from a great height.
One for
on your
uncut.
shoe.
One for uncut.
Fine.
Coming up after this, the little magpie saw off Jose Mourinho's Eagles.
4 or 5 years never complain about the referees and the action, but this action is really incredible. Incredible.
Welcome back to the Football Ramble, everybody. Newcastle United 3, Benfica 0. Before the game, Jose Mourinho called himself a little magpie. He said, the club up there know how much love and respect I have for them. I learned that from Mr. Robson.
Sometimes Jose's 4D chess doesn't take like a grandmaster to figure it out, does it?
No.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Eddie Howe called Mourinho one of the all-time managerial greats. Well done, Eddie.
I
He's
think
after
those-
your job.
Yes.
I also think that there's a sincerity to both those things. Obviously, Bobby Robson, a huge impact on his career.
Mhm.
And also, Mourinho is that, isn't he? Especially to, modern managers.
I think
So
yeah.
that's
No,
both
there's-
fair.
He's definitely talked about Newcastle before because of the late great Sir Bobby Robson. So that's
And also, as you rightly say, because of a potential landing spot.
well, he's a little magpie. He's got to land somewhere.
That's true.
Anyway,
Chasing
Newcastle.
after shiny things.
Yeah.
Newcastle gave them a shoe
Shooting everywhere.
Yes, they've now recorded back-to-back victories in the Champions League for the first time since 2003. Those stats are always slightly misleading for most of that time.
Does that sound good or does that sound bad?
Yeah.
I think it's testament, or not testament, it is the reality that they didn't qualify for the Champions League for an awfully long time.
It's a bit different to the Amarim stat of winning 2 games in a row. I was like, yes, but you've been trying to win games in that period.
Yeah, he's had loads of chances.
Yeah.
Whereas Newcastle, I think it's a more understandable stat,
Yeah.
not as embarrassing as Harry Maguire spoke about that stat after the Liverpool game. But it was a good win, though. Anthony Gordon scored his 4th goal in 3 games. He's becoming, well, he is the player.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember if it was maybe the season before last where he was very, very good for Newcastle. Like really,
His first full season for Newcastle, he was brilliant
Yeah.
because he obviously had that initial period having signed in January.
yes.
And he was actually quite stroppy and not very good.
Uh-huh.
And then under 21s came back early
Yep.
to go straight into new preseason and was excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know he's had 1 or 2 injuries and so on. He was still good last season, but this season, my goodness. Allow me. He is a starter on the left side for England now, isn't he? Like he really has cemented that place. And Jim, you and I have said before that we've just not quite got maybe the full tune out of Gordon for England yet. But now,
If we can see this Gordon in an England shirt, we're in a good position.
which we have been seeing flashes of, I think, of late. And he's such a weapon for Newcastle United. He really, really is. Scored the opening goal, of course, lovely one. And great that Jacob Murphy was back in the side.
Yes.
Getting an assist. Yeah, Eddie Howe referred to him as an assist threat.
I
is
think,
quite
that's
specific. I've not heard it like that.
very sort of PowerPoint presentation way of putting it. But
Little
it
bit. But Murphy back in there but was good to see. And of course, Harvey Barnes came off the bench, Vish, and scored a couple of lovely goals.
He did, yeah. Hell of a throw from Nick Pope.
Unbelievable.
For the first one.
Yeah.
Really nice because he was clearly trying to calm everything down because he held on to the ball and then he sees the opportunity and, nails it. This felt like a throwback Champions League game. I really enjoyed it. There was a great energy to it.
Yep.
It didn't feel like a 3-0.
Do you feel Benfica were better than that scoreline?
Yeah.
Because they showed a lot more, because I saw them when when Chelsea beat them 1-0. They had nothing. No, I know Mourinho.
They'd get to the box and have a nosebleed, wouldn't they?
Oh,
that was the story
yeah. I mean,
of
it
that
really
game.
was. I mean, Chelsea weren't brilliant themselves, but they did enough, and a win's a win's a win. But with this Benfica side, Mourinho said himself, despite Mourinho's pomp and all the rest of it, he said there's a reason why I got this job. It's because the previous coach failed. I mean, they had a disaster in, was it the opening round of fixtures where they lost 3-2 to Karabakh, and embarrassing result cost Bruno Lage's job. So I didn't expect too much of them against Chelsea, and he's not been there that long, of course, and he's playing ultimately a better side. But they showed a little bit, I thought.
Yeah, Luka Bacchio looks fun, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
That shot off the post.
Yeah.
If ever like a non-goal effort can nourish you as a footballer, it was that.
Yeah.
Like golfers and cricketers talk about a point where you've hit a ball so well, but only that it's a good shot, basically. And as soon as that left his foot, he was clearly like, this has got a chance here.
Yeah.
It was a lovely effort.
Yeah,
Obviously didn't mean anything, but he's got something.
Yeah, exactly. He took something out. But Newcastle, great value though. I mean, bear in mind,
100%.
They obviously lost to Barcelona in the opening game. That can happen. Absolutely, it can. Only by the odd
But you're
goal.
going to get Rashford.
But exactly.
Yeah, but you've got to put that right in your home games after that, right?
Totally,
and this is a really, really big win when you look at the fixtures they have, and it's the manner of it for me as well. They had a lot of shots. They had 19 in total, 10 on target. Obviously, they win by 3 goals. Really, really energetic, really sort of dominant performance. The 12th man effect as well is massively, massively in evidence at St James's Park. These are like. You talk about the shot being nourishing, but you can tell for those fans that every moment of this is an absolute joy, and they're getting energized by it. This is what they've wanted for such a long time.
Yeah.
They're there on merit. They look the part. They're playing really, really well in these games. And I think having lost that opening game in a game they were competitive in, and they would have been disappointed to have lost that. The way they've course corrected and the way they've reacted to that has been basically perfect.
Yeah,
I
you're right.
I also think Voltemada looks like the kind of player in the front three that the 2 other players around him love playing with.
A little bit Roberto Firmino-esque.
I was going to say that.
Yes.
Yes. Because,
Well, I mean, that touch, obviously, with the flick.
yeah, but he clearly, for someone who plays up front and loves scoring goals, he's very unselfish.
I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he seems to really like helping other people. I know that's quite a simplistic way of putting it.
No,
but
you're spot on.
I think everyone, like Firmino, everyone loves playing with him.
Yeah.
So even the fact that you can swap out, or swap in Murphy and still have Gordon on one side, and he just plays really well with both of them. And I suppose Murphy gives him something else to work with, a different kind of thing to work with.
Yeah,
and he's clearly really amenable to anyone who's around him. I thought what was really interesting was. For someone who drops back, he was never in the way of Ramsey or Miley. He's obviously played a lot with Gimaresh, but he was, Miley was able to come to the edge of the box on certain occasions, and what a fun player to have.
Yeah, totally. And you mentioned Lewis Miley there. Again, I know he's a bit of experience now, player for Newcastle, but comes in for Tonali, I think it was, takes to it like a duck to water, Champions League. It all bodes very well for Newcastle, I think, and they are a force. I mean, I understand. Because they lost to Barcelona, but it's the first game, and Newcastle could really do something in this competition. Again, spoken much about what Aston Villa did last year. Newcastle got to look at that and think, do you know what, lads? They're obviously aiming for the knockouts. That's quite clear. They've won 2 of the first 3 games, got a decent goal difference as well. You get in there, you never know. So I think that. I think they should be very excited about this competition.
Especially if you look at their away games they've got. They've got PSG, which is obviously the biggest remaining tie they've got, and a difficult away game.
Unfinished business there as well.
Absolutely. Leverkusen, who will come onto their Champions League home form later on.
What the hell happened there?
And Marseille, and you think those last 2 games, they're they're probably going to win those.
I mean, it's not an easy run.
No, but they're winnable.
They are winnable, which is why it was important. They put the game away in Belgium when they went there last time, and then this one as well, and racked up the goals. So again, they've given themselves a great chance to get through, which you would imagine they would, looking at it. Before we move on from Newcastle United, did you see this? Former Newcastle striker Pape Cisse is playing for a Sunday League side in I think it's south of Manchester.
Wythenshawe, I think?
Wythenshawe Vets, yeah.
Yeah.
They won 6-2 this month. He scored all 6 goals. The team has a total of 222 Premier League goals and 325 international caps. Their players include the aforementioned Cisse, Emile Heskey, George Boyd, remember him, former Hull and Burnley winger, a former Everton striker, Umar Niasse, Wigan obviously former, but played for Wigan, Manuel Figueroa.
He scored from his own half.
Yes. Stephen Ireland, former Man City man, Neda Manoa, and Jolien Lescott and Danny Drinkwater.
I mean,
what a side!
Niasse has been doing this for a while, a bit of a cult hero at Everton, but I've clocked onto this team because quite a few of them play fives together.
Yeah, okay.
So they come up against a load of jumped up young 20-somethings, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, but that's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, we've all wondered what it would be like to play against that level of opposition. You're obviously never going to do it when they're kind of playing age, but I'm sure, it's quite humiliating to get battered like that, but it must be an amazing experience.
I don't know. I'd take 6-2 against that lot.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, 6-2's not bad, is it?
Also, very cool the fact that they're not. I mean, obviously, part of the motivation will be be quite fun to run rings around someone for 90 minutes, but they obviously do it because they love football that much.
Oh yeah,
not that was ever in doubt, but I mean, I know what you mean. They're kind of just like us.
The 2 is massive there. The opposition.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, well, how important were those goals?
Yeah,
was there an equalising goal in there? No, but you're right. I think there's something wonderful and heartening when you get former pros like that say, "Well, of course I keep playing. I love the game." Like when you see Scholes when he was playing. I can't remember if it was in a league, but certainly
it was on like 3G AstroTurf. Yeah,
but wasn't he just hanging out in the park on his own, going, "You see that tree? Can hit that from here." All right, mate.
See that milk bottle? Well, yeah, because they wanted him back at Salford City for an FA Cup game or something, didn't they? But then when David Beckham was seen at one of the pitches in West London under the Westway, he was seen there and said, "Love it, bloody love all that."
I played against Carlton Cole and Barry Hales on those same pitches.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, that I presume
Carlton Cole, when he was, I mean, you can love football too much, I reckon, but he was coming through at Chelsea.
Oh wow!
I think Ranieri had just taken over and was like a big fan of his, and he was just like there playing like 7-a-side.
Yeah,
and we were like, "What are you doing?"
Have some of this.
Yeah. And the bit of the Scholes thing's good. But, whatever keeps his daughter's feet out of his mouth, it's only a good thing.
Absolutely.
Get your daughter's foot out of your goddamn mouth. Now, Villareal lost at home to Manchester City. Erling Haaland scored for the 12th consecutive time as the citizens ran out winners in Spain. A decent performance from Man City, as you might say. Savinho was excellent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talking of when you said about Nick Voltemade as an unselfish striker, Haaland, I think it was only about 30 seconds into the game or something, when you're thinking, he's going to... He passes it. Did you see that moment? I was like,
Is he thinking about his assist record as well? It's like, I
maybe.
can't forget about this. I've got to keep this up as well.
The goals are fine. They're going to come. But I want to do the assists as well.
You can get all the goals you want, but like a video game, you only complete 60% of the story, don't you?
Some strikers can be frustrating where you think, you should have bloody passed, man. Whereas Haaland, it's like...
Yeah.
Well, there's one. Yeah. Whereas Haaland, it's like, no, you should just always shoot.
Yeah.
From
kickoff.
You should learn from that.
I want to see something. Shoot from kickoff.
Yeah. But he does that because he knows deep down, I'm going to get my chances. It's fine.
Yeah.
Feed some other people for a change.
Exactly, yeah.
It's a bit, to him,
he's giving back.
Yeah, to him, it's tax.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah, there's a sense, isn't there, that the kind of early season jitters that City appear to have are just in the distance now, just completely gone. I mean, 9 wins in a row, is it? So unbeaten in 9 games now across all competitions. And one of the things that's been really notable about them under Pep Guardiola has been these really long kind of unbeaten / winning runs. And they're clearly kind of, deep into one of those now. And it'd be interesting to see how long they can keep it up, because you back them to win the title, Vish, and the way they're playing, it really feels like we are sort of getting back to a very new iteration of that invincible feeling team that they've been in the past.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's still a bit premature there with that. As I would, I like to pour cold water on this. They've been good, and I think they'll be up there. And I think that was a good, solid 2-0 away victory in the Champions League. So everybody's happy. Guardiola saying last season was tough for us. The vibe and how the team are playing now make me feel fine. I totally get all that. I still think though that they're going through the gears. I think that the question mark is there more to come, or is this as good as it's going to get for this team? Because I think they're going to still have to improve if they want to really challenge for the Premier League and the Champions League.
But like Savinho doesn't even start for them in the league.
No, and it was brilliant last night.
Yeah.
So I get it. I'm saying that for me, tagging on to your point there, Jim, about the feeling of that kind of peak Man City under Guardiola, I think that's still a way off. But they've definitely improved. And
I'm saying more that they're kind of on the road back to that sense where teams approach them with a bit of fear.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, Villareal have not been great in the Champions League, although they're decent at home.
Who cares
generally.
about them? We're talking about the Premier League now. Doesn't matter. Well done for playing against Man City. I hope you got a lovely souvenir with a few shirts, but come on.
Well, Rodney got a souvenir of sorts. He was
Rodney.
Rodney.
Incredibly dismissive. I love that.
Rodney.
Oh, you're not what you were, Rodney.
Sorry. Old Rodders, or Rodri as people call him, was added to Villarreal's Hall of Fame. Yeah?
Who the fuck's Rodney? Rodney? They wouldn't even give you a proper shirt, Villareal.
You spelt my name wrong, you plonker.
You got a Malian knockoff.
Do you know what he said, though, when he got added to the Hall of Fame? Lovely jubbly. Of course, that was Del Boy, not Rodney.
This time next week, I'll be a millionaire because of how much I'm fucking earning. Yeah.
He came up through Villarreal's academy, made 84 appearances for the club.
You know what he did after that? He moved on. And maybe you should too, Villareal.
Yeah, it's cuck behaviour, isn't
Yeah.
it? Doing that before a game.
Jim, there's no need for that.
There's always a need for it, Marcus.
Your utter disdain for tradition and history, though.
No, that's not true. It's a nice thing. What they call the little submarines.
Yellow submarine. I think.
Whatever.
It's something about submarines. Hey, put your head above the water, you might find, that you'll beat Man United in the Europa League final.
Come join the real world on the land, mate. Yeah.
Hey, did you hear that little dig?
I didn't. It's white noise now.
Yeah, just bounces off.
Someone. So I posted.
Not the most embarrassing Europa League final defeat, Man United.
No, exactly. Yeah. I posted a video of Harry Maguire celebrating the winner against Liverpool on the weekend.
Yes, you did.
And someone, I assume as a Ramble fan, someone replied like, "Well, I suppose you've got to enjoy it while you can." And I was like, "Yeah, cheers." And he replied going, "It is embarrassing though, isn't it? How far United have fallen." I was like. Yeah, cheers again. And then he went back. See, it just keeps your manager in for a bit longer. I wonder when you'll finally get rid of him. I just replied like, same to you. And he blocked me.
Weird.
So you really got to enjoy it while you can.
You do.
Yeah. That's one listener we've lost.
Oh, what a shame. Well, come and follow Jim and me. You'll be very welcome there. Elsewhere in the Champions League, PSG crushed by Leverkusen 7-2 in a 9-goal thriller.
That's absolutely amazing game, this.
I mean, at one point, it was 10-aside and 1-1.
Yeah. Is it an argument to just reduce the number of players in each team?
Could be.
10-aside looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Robert Andrick, his sending off was absolutely mad. It's like, you know what? I just want to elbow this guy in the face. Consequences be damned. I'm just going to elbow him in the face.
Yeah, right. Alex Garcia got a consolation for Bayer Leverkusen, which was one of the great consolation
One of
goals.
the great pointless goals.
Yeah, just smashed it in. He was just like, I suppose I should raise an arm to that.
Yeah.
Also, Kvaratskhelia scored a goal which hit both posts before going in, and it was actually his second bite of the cherry as well because there was a shot blocked and he hit it again. That was beautiful. That should count for two.
It was. One of the teams that scored 6 goals in the Champions League last night was PSV. And they were thrashed Napoli. Don't expect this from Napoli. They beat them 6-2. Obviously, McTominay got both of Napoli's goals.
He's getting more handsome with every goal.
Do you think?
Without doubt.
He looks like a male model.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
This is what happens, though, when you move from our climate to like a Mediterranean climate. You eat
get those
food.
Tomatoes in you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I reckon he's getting a lot of food on his plate and being like, I didn't know you can get this fresh. Mad.
This is a vegetable.
This is what it will actually taste like.
It must be. It has to be all these things.
I reckon it's a smoking,
I think the biggest part is not being at Manchester United.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different kind of fumes.
Nothing to do. Smoking's bad for you, Vish.
Wow, is it?
Well,
Look at Scott McTominay. All I'm saying is, look at. I know there's scientific evidence out there, but look at Scott McTominay.
the opposite examples do outnumber him quite a bit, though.
Yeah, but look at Scott McTominay.
Yeah, look
You
at
being one of them.
Good word as well, isn't it?
Dirty little tabber.
Smoking doesn't need to sound that cool.
No, that's true. Barcelona beat Evangelos Marinakis' Olympiacos 6-1.
Bad week for him.
There was a sending off in this game, and
A
here,
pathetic.
here, that you can't do that on the football pitch. You can't. You can't breathe on an opponent and expect to stay on the pitch. If you haven't seen this, ladies and gentlemen, do check it out. It'll be all over social media, obviously YouTube and whatnot. But what was he sent off for? Presumably he thought
waving.
Presumably he thought he caught him in the face.
Yeah, the guy's hand brushed the Barcelona player's face, and he obviously goes down.
But it's a second yellow, so it can't be VAR.
Yeah.
VAR did.
But surely it should be at least for a red card.
Well, this is the problem, isn't it? When you bring the technology, you think, that decision was so appallingly bad that you think, well, can you not then for potential second yellows, do that? You bring that in, people say, well, but the first. I think it should be brought in for second yellows, and I think that we might see conversations happening with iFabulous and all the rest of them, as it's such a crucial thing. And people are going to go, shut up, we want less technology, we don't want more of it. Actually, when you see that, it's just
absolutely ridiculous.
Piss take.
But
Marcus Rashford did score 2 goals after that red card.
He did. Both really, really good goals as well, really confident finishes.
Properly gave the keeper the eyes, didn't he?
He did.
Like opened the bodies if he was going to put it across to the keeper's left, and then said, no.
the first touch for that second goal was lovely.
He's playing with confidence.
It's really nice to see him appreciated, isn't it?
Yeah, big competition down that left side for England, of course, now.
There it is.
All
That's
boding
threatened.
very, very well.
Yeah.
Some good news, though, coming out of Barcelona and Spain, generally. Barcelona's game against Villareal in Miami has been postponed or cancelled, depending on who you chat to. The organisers say there is insufficient time to organise the event. This comes...
Liars. You pathetic liars.
Yeah.
Just admit you've been defeated. It comes after players across La Liga protested last weekend, and as soon as we got behind those protests, bang! Oh, we can't. That's too much pressure on us.
Super League all over
the weight
again.
of the Ramble back
Another
on them.
missed opportunity.
Yeah. I did think when the players were protesting, some of the most famous players to have played the game, they lacked a little something.
Right.
And it was our support.
Yes.
And I
Absolutely.
think they're glad for it, obviously, because obviously they didn't want to go to Miami, but they had to get our attention in some way, and they couldn't come directly to us.
Correct.
Because they,
Well, they thought they could at the time.
yes,
But now
yeah,
it's been established that they
'cause
can't.
They didn't want to pay $5 a month.
I
but-
mean, if we do have this kind of sway, then my suggestion for moving the Serie A game, AC Milan versus Como, from Perth, Australia to Perth, Scotland. Don't be surprised if that happens, everybody.
Yeah, that would be better for everybody, wouldn't it? A lot of Scottish Italians as well. I'm sure they would appreciate
Yeah,
that.
it'd be better for everybody, Jim. But again, what's good for the Ramble may not be what's good for Serie A. But
I think it's better than the current situation, is what I meant.
and that's how bad the current suggestion is, that if they moved the game to Scotland, it would be much better. But this is good. We're pleased about this. I mean, I do love the fact that, La Liga said it's cancelled, but the event organisers said it's been postponed.
Yeah, and also
Till when,
actually,
guys?
well, but La Liga have come out swinging about it, really, haven't they, as well? They've said that having to cancel is damaging to the international profile of the entire football ecosystem.
Piss off.
Which is just kind of nonsense, isn't it? And they've spoken a lot about the kind of opportunities to sort of grow La Liga and compete with the Premier League and the kind of eyeballs that the Champions League gets as well. So they seem very angry about it. Maybe they could think about redistributing their own TV money in a less crazy way if they want to make La Liga more competitive. But
How dare you,
that's
Jim?
up to
That
them,
is a
isn't it?
tradition to give Real Madrid and Barcelona all
You're
the
right.
money.
Absolutely.
You're taking money out of one person's pocket to give to many. How dare you?
Ridiculous, Jim.
Well, it all trickles down.
Yeah, we all benefit in the end, don't we? In the very, very, very end, I'm sure. Right, coming up after this, Nuno has called West Ham relegation candidates. Yes, everybody, back to the Premier League. Sod all that Champions League bollocks. Let's talk about what happened on Monday night. West Ham United 0, Brentford 2. Oof.
Yeah.
Ooh, West Ham were bad.
Dog shit.
Oh, my goodness.
A lot of people said it's the worst performance they've seen from a Premier League team in a while. An established Premier League team as well. I think that you probably need to go further back than that.
And that was
I
off
include my own team in that.
But that's off last season when we saw Southampton and
And but it's worse
Leicester.
because it's West Ham.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah,
So,
all things considered. Pound for pound.
yes, yeah. I don't remember watching a game where it was so clear that the players don't like each other. Or don't
and that's
rate.
coming from a Man United fan.
Yeah.
Who's
Because
English.
they're in it together at Manchester United.
Yeah.
And
It's just the manager that hates the players.
yeah, and himself
And
the
its
club.
children. Yeah. He said it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. But the thing about this, like the broadly serious point in that is that a lot of times when teams get into this situation, they've got to a certain point together, and that certain point is a high that is now, that they're falling from, as it were. So they've worked together previously. But you look at that squad, and a lot of those players were brought together to push them even further up. Essentially, that's what you're seeing. That's the Declan Rice money that was invested in that squad, which is why a few of those players are there to lift them beyond, I suppose, like beyond where they were and drive the club forward. And they've gone backwards, and because of that, it really does feel like a lot of the players are like, "Well, I didn't sign up for this.
Yes.
This isn't the situation that I want to be in. I didn't make the decision to come here so that we can play at an athletics ground in front of 10,000 people, and almost be ridiculed. And no one's really up for the fight, apart from like Bowen and Paquetá.
I mean, I did love that in the game. Like Bowen had a pretty good effort on goal, which the keeper saved. And I thought, yeah, he'll always.
Absolutely.
But otherwise, Jim. I mean,
But yeah, I think that the problem, as you've alluded to there, is that they're just so easy to play through. There's so little resistance to.
They had no
players
midfield
just-
at one
well,
point.
yeah, exactly.
Thomas Tuchel was looking around, going, "Is there anybody here?"
Yeah, well, exactly, and that's a lot for him to do on his own, isn't it? And there's just no press, there's no energy, and that is the type of thing you would associate with what you might call a new manager bounce. It's surprising that they were that flat that quickly under Nuno Espirito Santo. Maybe it's kind of harsh to look at it like that because he's still figuring out his players. I think some of the I've seen a lot of West Ham fans question the lineup and question some of the decisions in game, which suggests to me that he's looked at this squad and he's gone, bloody hell, like how do I make this function? So I think this game and probably a few games to follow it are likely to be experiments, really, just so he can get a proper understanding of how he can make this function as a unit. Because, this is not it, is it?
No.
Brentford had so many shots.
I mean, to be honest with you,
no one associated with West Ham will be feeling lucky at the moment, but they were lucky that it wasn't much more than that. Much more.
And they also they were conceded that much ground and the ball and the impetus to a team who'd up until that point had lost all their away games this season.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, is it's against a Brentford side who have done okay this season, but some people thought, well, they might be in a relegation scrap. But if Jensen doesn't score that goal at the end, Brentford fans could have been understandably disappointed they only won 1-0.
Yeah.
I mean, look, a win, especially on the road for most teams in the Premier League, and I would include Fulham in this, it's always a good result, so I don't want to be silly here. But they should have scored more.
Yeah.
They should have won about 4.
But also, it shows how little faith West Ham fans have in their team, that even at 1-0, there was no sense of like, we could stick around here, we could get a late one.
No, it was.
They because they've what they've seen so far, they're like, nah, this is an absolute mess.
Keith Andrews said at 1-0, I was totally calm.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, it was so bad. I mean, they've lost 5 successive home games in the top flight for the first time since 1931. Nuno said himself that the atmosphere at home is bad and they need to change something.
Yeah.
But I mean, how many times have we seen this with West Ham over the years?
Well, there was a plan.
It's particularly poor at the moment.
There was a plan, but there was a planned boycott of the game. So
there
were empty seats because of that reason, and there was a protest by the directors' boxes or the entrance to the directors' boxes outside. So actually, the I think the booing at full time and the atmosphere is kind of. It comes from protest as much as it comes from sort of frustration at the team and the new manager. And I think, that combines to potentially make this look worse than it is, certainly in terms of the atmosphere. I think this is a venting of frustration that kind of needed to come out, almost a sort of like primal scream therapy approach to supporting your team. And I think everybody all of those fans are invested in the atmosphere getting better as well. They just need to see something to get behind. So this could well be a kind of,
Well, what did you think of Nuno's comments when he said, we are relegation candidates? I hate saying that, but it's the reality. You can see our own fans are concerned. Concerns become anxiety, become silence. The anxiety passes to the players. We have a problem. This is a deep problem. I think a lot of people, myself included, thought Nuno would go in there and he would at least, make them a much more solid and cohesive defensive unit, which of course he will do. It's very early days and he's taken over in a job which he was very quick to take because quite clearly he still wanted to be operating as a manager. And the thing at Forest happened, he wasn't wanting a break. It was very unfortunate what happened there. He goes, sod that. Right, where's the next job? Okay, West Ham, big Premier League club. Bang, I'm in there. I can fix this. And you would still back him to try and sort it out. Under Potter, they were going nowhere. So I get why Nuno has gone there and in its early days. He is realising just how deep-rooted these problems are. And West Ham fans have been saying this for how many years now with owners and the poor recruitment and so on and so forth. He has a monumental task on his hands. And they will be hoping that they're getting Wolves or Forest Nuno rather than Spurs Nuno. But Spurs Nuno, again, bit of a mad situation at the club. It didn't work
very
out
different
then.
as well.
Very different, but, it's a stinking start and things need to happen because otherwise the newly promoted sides are thinking, right, well, there's one.
Yeah.
I think he's actually right to make those comments, though, because everybody can see it. There's no point pretending that they're in a situation other than that, and that the challenge now is to just climb their way out of it.
But let's hope his hatred doesn't turn towards his family like it did with Ruben Amorim.
Indeed, always.
Hope it doesn't get that bad. Now, Champions League is back tonight. Liverpool looking to break their 4-game losing streak as they head to Frankfurt to play Eintracht Frankfurt. A tricky fixture, Vish, but the current run of Liverpool, a bit of pressure on this game.
Ooh, yeah. Could be problematic for them.
Could it be a 5-game losing streak? That's what your little noise seems to
suggest. Knock them off their perch.
I said, with no real intent and entirely facetiously.
Oh, what an honourable man.
Yeah. That Liverpool, I think they'd maybe lost 2 games in a row. And I said, who knows, it could be 8.
Oh, you go.
And even though I said that facetiously and I didn't mean it, I would like to. I feel like I underclubbed because it could be 10.
Could be 10.
You just don't know.
Don't cut your hair until they've lost 10 in a row.
If Arne Slot loses 10 in a row, does he get sacked?
No.
10 in a row would be insane, wouldn't it? For like any manager of a club that size.
This is complete and utter speculation, but I'm really happy to go with it. Nobody's safe. There's been a few people. I don't think he's unsafe.
No,
okay?
I want to make it clear that there is no chance of that happening.
But
if he lost 10 in a row, Jim, other managers have come and gone after winning the Premier League title. Admittedly, most of them are Chelsea or that Leicester manager, of course, which was mad. But no, obviously we're talking bollocks here. But interestingly, though, speaking of Liverpool managers, Jurgen Klopp has said it's theoretically possible that he could return to manage Liverpool one day.
Well, like that one day being in December.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is theoretically possible, yes. So, it'd be ridiculous to say no. But he said he doesn't miss the smell of the dressing room. And he said, I don't want to die in a dressing room.
Yeah,
so theoretically possible.
I don't want to die in a dressing room, to me, speaks louder than it's theoretically possible.
How bad is the smell?
Well, who knows? Who knows? I suppose the only way this would realistically happen would be if Klopp ended up coming back as a sort of Kenny Dalglish style caretaker manager if things had gone really south. But they seem too well run for that to be needed. Although who knows?
Also,
Graham Potter is now manager of Sweden, which is a reminder that absolutely anything can happen in football at any time.
Yeah, but that's a lovely job, isn't it?
Well, exactly. But would you have predicted it a month ago?
Yeah. He obviously, sacked from West Ham, wants to get back into football. What can I do? Try and get Sweden to the World Cup. Fair enough. Nuno must be going, I didn't realise the Sweden job was available. Yeah, he never managed it.
Do you think he watched the game on...
So he knows the country.
I think he got announced on Sunday, didn't he? And so he would have had that job and been in Sweden watching the Monday night West Ham game, thinking like, I think things worked out all right, actually.
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah, what an enormous bullet I
Yeah.
dodged. Speaking of international management, by the way, Gennaro Gattuso said he'll leave the country if Italy fail to qualify for the World Cup. He said, I'm already living quite far away, but I'd go even further away.
So where's he living? Is he living in Switzerland?
Must be. I don't, but presumably.
In my mind, in like a cave.
Yeah, surely though, Graham Potter, if that's put to him, he'll go, I'll leave Sweden if we fail to qualify. That'll be fine. Get behind that, Graham.
I'm quite surprised that he's living far away.
Why?
I suppose if he's going around seeing the players, he doesn't necessarily have to be based in Italy. But
Yeah.
I feel like he's accidentally told people that he's not living in Italy.
I mean, I don't think it's a Jurgen Klinsmann situation.
May
He's
as
not
well
like
be.
taking training over Zoom and stuff. I think he's very much in travelling distance. I
It's,
wouldn't worry
it's
too
Gennaro
much.
Gattuso, though.
Yeah.
In my mind, he sort of, like lives in the Trevi Fountain. He's about as purely Italian as you can get.
Yeah, with trousers that stop about the shins, and he's shirtless, just wringing his shirt in the in a ravine or a river.
Exactly.
They have
And
them in Italy, don't they?
And
Yeah.
he'll have a go at you unless you throw a penny into the fountain.
Yeah. Yes.
Not at him though. Then you'll really be in trouble. Anyway, Graham Potter's former club Chelsea play Ajax tonight. It's the first time they play since their 4-4 draw back in November 2019. More of that, please.
You get goals. Give us goals. It's all we want. It's all we ask for, really.
Yeah. All you just said is you struggled to get the word goals.
Yeah.
Being a neutral like I am in this Champions
Well, I
League
mean,
campaign.
just like how many managers and the turnover of players since 2019 for both teams
Yeah.
is kind of ludicrous.
It is
But-
quite ludicrous. Great shame, though, that Eric Dyer won't be fit in time for Monaco's game against his former club, Spurs.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't opened with this, actually. It is a great shame.
Well, I didn't want to start on such a negative note.
Fair enough.
Is he going to sit with his brother?
Hopefully.
Don't pick on him.
No.
Leave him alone.
Maybe we'll sit with Harry Kane's brother. I don't know.
Why would he do that?
That's
What are you doing here? Oh, I got my dates wrong.
I've got some ideas. Stop making me stupid.